Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This is Malapascua Island, and I was up there for a couple days, and I'm going to show you around the island. I'm going to show you some of the beaches, and I'm going to show you some of the resorts during the day and during the evening, some of the bars, some of the things that go on there. Malapascua Island is part of the northern province of Daan Bantayan, and it is a relatively small island, but it has an awful lot going on up there. A lot of resorts became famous, pretty much started becoming famous in the 1990s for diving, and people from all over the world come here to dive and to snorkel. But you can also just relax, enjoy the sun, enjoy the white sand beaches, which there are a number of them. And I will show you that first one was down around the side. The one here, this area here is where there are over, I think, very close to 30 different dive shops and resorts. And you don't see a lot of people swimming out in this area. A lot of the boats, the dive boats, the island hopping boats, they don't have a larger pier, so they don't get the larger ferries in here. I've done a previous video about the ferry across from Maya Port over here, and a lot of these places will teach you to scuba dive, or they will allow you to come along on the dives and do some snorkeling. And there are just many different dive spots around the island. Even going down to see the thresher sharks, one of the few places in the world, I understand, where thresher sharks come up early in the morning to have be cleaned by other fish, to have parasites and other things cleaned off of their bodies and their fins. And a number of different types of resorts. I'll show you the one that I stayed in a little later in the video. I'll also bring up a map and show you around the island using a map, because it's you don't really get a good feel for it just through the videos. At night, things liven up. The Amihan Resort is one of 2 or 3 Italian restaurants in town, and I was surprised at how many Italians were there. I heard a lot of them. In fact, some of the dive instructors I met were from Italy. And the Malditos seems to be a real popular place, kind of down at the very end and then around a bend down there within walking distance of the main resorts. Very popular in the evening also, as they have a live band. I don't know if they're there every night, but quite popular. It was really interesting. They were playing good old country music much that afternoon that we were there. And then as the sun went down, the crowd started coming, and the band started up, and as we were there, a big crowd. It was kind of people were just coming and waiting, sitting and waiting for tables to clear. So show up early if you want to eat here. And this is a relatively new Italian restaurant. I did a video of this guy's place, Italian restaurant, over on Makan Island maybe a year or so ago. Very good Italian food. And he's opened up a shop up here in Malapascua now, in the main area, main beach area, where a lot of the dive shops are. There are lots of restaurants and resorts and lots of choices and options, especially at night. You have outdoor seating near the beaches and also indoor seating. Many of them are open air, but I can't remember being bothered at all by mosquitoes, and not too much by flies either. Occasionally you have fly buzzing around, but lots of fresh seafood. What do we have here? What's this?
That's vegetable kebab. Include already the
Vegetable kebab, and this is what?
That's fish, parrot fish, and
white snapper.
Parrotfish and white snapper.
Yeah. And also squid,
Squid.
king prawns, chicken legs,
King prawn.
chop, pork belly.
Chicken legs, pork chops.
Pork belly.
Yeah, include
Bacon.
grilled vegetable.
Okay. Now we just ate, so maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
On any given night, there's probably some type of entertainment at one or more of these restaurants, resorts, bars, and so you can stay up. A lot of them will stay up as long as they have customers, paying customers. They will keep the bar open as long as they're making money. But a lot of these people, they're going to go diving early in the morning, so a big number of them will be hitting the sack relatively early. So you can have, we found a couple spots on the beach where we kind of had the beach to ourselves in the evening and nice and quiet, just watching, listening to the waves come in. And this lot here, I had a friend where I learned to scuba dive up here, and I'll show you his resort a little later. And he was going to lease this space and have a dive resort here right on the beach. And the people who end up leasing it just put some tents up here. Kind of interesting. I don't know, kind of dark here. I don't know if you can see those. But those are tents that he rents out. I think there's 4 or 5 different tents back there. And saw some light in 1 or 2 of them. So obviously they're getting some customers. And a lot of these places, they are resorts. They've got lodging, they've got a restaurant, they've got a bar, many of them. So you have many options available to you there. And for the size of the island, they probably have one of the busiest, most things going on per square meter for a small island, because it has become very, very popular in the last 30 years or so. We rented 2 motorboats or 2 motorbikes and 2 drivers to take us around, give us a tour of the island. Stopped a number of different places, and I will we'll do a different video about that. Some of the places to stop, different beaches, different sights to see, and lots of clear blue waters. But lots of resorts, lots of things to do there. And you can also take a boat around the island. They'll stop different places. This kind of reminds me of Alona Beach over on Panglao Island in Bohol. Lots of dive shops, a lot of things centered around diving, but also lots of restaurants, bars, things to do, especially, well, during the day and the evening. There are restaurants and bars open where you can just sit and relax and enjoy the beach, enjoy the waves. Most of the people who live here make their living through the tourist trade now, or supporting the tourist trade, either working for the resorts, the restaurants, or supporting those, bringing in the fish, bringing over the supplies, everything they need on this island, everything from fuel for the motorbikes to light bulbs to food, anything and everything, linen for the resorts. It all has to come from probably Cebu City. And I know my friend, he runs down to Cebu City once a month at least, rents a big van and loads that thing up and brings everything he needs back to the resort. This is where I stayed, the Shark's Tail Dive Resort. And they've got a restaurant there, they've got a bar, and I think he's got different names for each and every one of those. Anyway, an Australian owns this. He bought it I think 3-4 years ago, and it was damaged in the 2013 Yolanda typhoon.
Is this guy causing trouble? Should we call
Yeah, I am. I'm in trouble again.
call the police?
I'm in trouble again. It's unbelievable. No matter what I...
Yeah, we stayed here 2 nights, and it was relatively quiet in the evening. So I was happy about that. I was afraid that somebody would be doing karaoke off in the distance, but it was actually quite quiet, and course, you always have some roosters someplace. You got this the pool area where they do some of their basic training for scuba diving. And I think he hired a new dive manager when I was there. Met that guy. They were in December. In fact, Christmas Eve, I believe, there was another typhoon that came through northern Cebu and did a little bit of damage, knocked over a fence, damaged some of their roofs, and there was a couple resorts that were closed, still being repaired at this point in time. He has added on several rooms since the last time I was there, a year and a half ago or so. And this is one of the villa rooms, and comfortable and quiet when you shut the doors. Fan, AC, have a little fridge there, which was nice, a little bit of storage, and a safe. You can find with this virus going around Asia and the rest of the world, you might be able to find some really good deals online if you want to travel anywhere in Asia, perhaps. And I was told that many of the number of the resorts told me that yes, they had people canceling bookings, canceling their travel plans. So you might find some interesting deals. And a nice comfortable place outside and lighting it for the evening also. Beaches. There are a number of beaches on the island. This is actually up near, I understand, B Resorts and Hotels has bought a big chunk of land up on the north end of the island, going to build a resort there in the next couple of years. Some tourists will walk to these different beaches and points of interest. Most, I think, will rent the motorbike and the driver to take them around, show them the different areas, and I will do a different video about that. But anyway, this is the area, I think, where B Hotels and Resorts is going to build their new resort. I love maps, and it tells you a lot, and I'm going to tell you a lot about Malapascua Island and the surrounding areas. You've got the main, most of the resorts are down along this section here. In fact, from about here, this is beach area. These yellow areas are beach areas. This is Bounty Beach. This is called Bounty Beach down here. And you have Longan, if I pronounce that right, along here where I just showed you a video. And you have another beach up here, which I believe is where B Resorts. That's what I was told by the guy kind of hanging out there. It's kind of a deserted area now, and it's, if you walk there, you kind of park your motorbikes here and you walk around up here, over here, and you have a lot of that beach area to yourself. I was told by, I believe it was the caretaker, that the B Hotels and Resorts bought that property and will build there after they finish building over on Pangalao Island in Bohol. And then you have another beach over here as well. I did not make it to this beach area here, I don't think. Driving around, I wasn't always absolutely positive where I was at. And I'm going to zoom out here a bit first, show you where we're at. This is Danbantayan province, Danbantayan town up here. This is the island of Malapascua, and you take a bus or taxi or van up here to Maya Port, and then you about a 30-minute ride over here to Malapascua. Kintarkan Island, you can take trips over there, and then this is Bantayan Island over here, much larger, interesting. I'm guessing that Malapascua, being so much smaller than Bantayan Island, actually has just as much in the way of, or even more in the way of white sand beaches than Bantayan Island. It just has a lot to offer there. Whereas Bantayan is more of a laid-back, not so much of a diving island, scuba diving island and snorkeling island. Malapascua fits that bill. And let's zoom in here a little bit. And this is where your ferries come in here. Thresher Shark Divers. That's where I stayed. And yeah, this is Bounty Beach along here. And then you have resorts all along here where we walked, some of the video. And Malditos, I think, was over in this area, I believe. And good place to watch the sunsets is over in this area over here. White Sands Beach Bungalows. And then you can get on a motorbike. You can rent motorbikes. We found the motorbike drivers right down in this area. Or you can ask your resort to arrange for a motorbike driver. Or on the other hand, they also have boat rides, pump boat rides that you can take around here, and you can go either island hopping or take you around and stop at the different beaches. Very nice beach over here. Lots of foreigners were over in this area, and just hang out, get your tan. While all the Filipinos are buying the whitening creams to get white, you can lay there and get tan. And anyway, there's a lighthouse up here. Something else. We took a hike, went up to see the lighthouse. Another video about that. Then we took let me switch over to a different view here. I think we parked our motorbikes right about in here, and then we walked along the coastline here and up in here. And this used to be a big resort area in the 2013 when Yolanda typhoon hit. Did a lot of damage there. The owner decided not to rebuild, did not want to sell off parcels, wanted to sell off the whole area to somebody, and they finally did. So that's going to be a huge new resort in perhaps 2 or 3 years. Also, many of these islands around, Malapascua Island, for diving. Here's another dive site. Number of different places you can go snorkeling. When we walked to the lighthouse up here, there's actually there's actually a little there's a pretty nice little beach right down in here, eco-friendly beach bar. And it is a beach bar. Resolution isn't that good. But this is a nice little beach right here all by itself. And then we climbed up this hill up to the lighthouse. And this is all automated now. Our motorbike driver, as a matter of fact, as a kid, he would go with his father or his uncle. I forget which one. I believe his father. They would manually operate that thing. They would go up and turn the lights on, like in the evening, 5 in the evening, and go up like 5 in the morning and turn the lights off. But now it's all run by computers, pretty much. And this is one of the beaches that I showed you. I did not get over this beach here. So looks like that is another very nice beach area. And if you took the tour around with a boat, you would probably stop over there. I could not find out what the population of the island was. I asked a number of people what it would cost to rent a house there, and I got the figure of 10,000. Several people knew of people who would rent a house. 10,000 pays $200 a month, and I think they're. I think if you go through the right people, find you the right place, you might be able to find it for less than that. But heard that number a number of times, and people seem to be interested in. They had vacant houses, willing to rent them out. One thing that will surprise you, really surprised me, it seemed like a lot bigger island than what it is in actuality. 2.5 kilometers long by 1 kilometer wide. Seems much bigger than that. It has a lot to offer. But that would be 1.5 miles long by 0.6 miles, a little over half a mile wide. There again, seems much bigger because there's so much going on that island. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and I'll see you next time.